Hello there, very good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News on TV1 for the News First, the voice of the people. I'm Martin Satyanesan. Let's start off with a look at your headlines for this afternoon.
Stock of AstraZeneca vaccines at the Batticaloa Hospital go to waste. Are gyms more important than COVID-19 prevention? Opposition leader questions the government. Minister Sarath Weerasekara seeks to prevent Richard from attending parliamentary sittings. Opposition raises heavy objection. Who reclaimed 4 acres of land in the Rajavela sanctuary?
Now those stories in detail. Several Gramaniladari divisions in the districts of Colombo, Gampaha, Ratnapura and Vavuniya were placed under isolation since this morning.
The Pamanuwa Gramaniladari division in the Maharagama police jurisdiction in the Colombo district and the Honnathara and Delthara Gramaniladari divisions in the Piliyandala police jurisdiction were placed under isolation since this morning. Further, the Kuttivila Gramaniladari division in the Kirindawala police jurisdiction in the Gampaha district was also placed under isolation. Other areas under isolation include the Pallegama and Udagama areas in the Abilipite police jurisdiction in the Ratnapura district. The Walalgoda, Sudugala, Panamura and Rathmaga Gramaniladari divisions in the Panamura police jurisdiction in the Ratnapura district are also under isolation. The National Operations Centre for the Prevention of COVID-19 outbreaks said that the Kurukal Pudukulam Gramaniladari division in the Vavuniya district has also been placed under isolation.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa arrived in Parliament today while the adjournment debate on the threat of COVID-19 was being debated for the second day.
අධිකරු ජනාධිපතිතුමා මේ අවස්ථාවේ පැමිණෙනවා. මේ ප්‍රධාන ක්‍රියාවලීන් තුනක් පරිභෝජනයේ හැරුණාම
Should physical fitness be prioritized over the containment of COVID-19? Leader of the opposition Sajith Premadasa raised the relevant question in Parliament today during the adjournment debate, which is currently being held for the second day to discuss the threat of COVID-19 and the reasons which gave rise to its resurgence.
We have learned that attention has been paid to Kafir aircraft in light of national security. There is no issue in refurbishing or maintaining such aircrafts. But we have learned that $50 million of public fund has been used to refurbish this aircraft. I wish to propose to the President to use these funds in taking measures to stem the spread of COVID-19. A good proposal was approved by the Cabinet to allocate $650 million for the setting up of those exercise centres. But in light of the COVID-19 pandemic, I propose that these funds be used to increase ICU beds, construct field hospitals and purchase oxygen cylinders, ventilators and other medical supplies. I feel it would be apt to implement these two above-mentioned projects once the spread of the COVID-19 virus is brought under control.
මේ කොවිඩ් ව්‍යසනයේ අඩුවීමත් සමග ක්‍රියාත්මක කිරීම යෝග්‍යයි කියන එක මම මේ අවස්ථාවේ යෝජනා කරන්න කැමතියි.
ගරු විපක්ෂ නායකතුමනි පැහැදිලිව කියන්නේ
I wish to tell the opposition leader that these allocations have not been made using funds allocated for COVID-19 prevention efforts or from the COVID-19 fund. These cabinet papers were presented in line with the budgetary allocations. I wish to inform you that the Treasury will disperse the required funds to curb the spread of COVID-19. We will not use these funds for any other purpose.
ඒ මුදල් කප්පාදු කරලා වෙනත් ව්‍යාපෘතියකට යොමු කරන්න නැහැ කියන එක මතක් කරන්න ඕනේ.
There is no proper decision making process, and that is why we asked more than a year ago that there needs to be a specific law to deal with this situation. Countries world over immediately passed laws in Italy, in the UK, in India, in Singapore, several examples. They immediately passed laws to enable a proper legal regime to deal with the situation. Now I'm mentioning this aspect very particularly because we can exchange views in an adjournment debate, but over and above that, Parliament has a specific duty as one of the arms of the government. It is this house and this house alone that makes laws. I heard the Honourable Minister of Justice the other day. He stated that the government will introduce a new act to deal with this situation. But where is that act? There doesn't seem to be any urgency in doing what this House ought to do. There are other bills, like the Port City Bill, all being brought post haste. But something that this House should have done in emergency session, having been reconvened after dissolution even, has not been done even to date.
The total number of COVID-19 cases in Sri Lanka rose to 15,590 with a detection of 1,914 cases yesterday. The tally of total recoveries from the virus stands at 99,153, while 15,728 people are currently under medical care. The Ministry of Health noted 709 people have died due to COVID-19 in the country. Meanwhile, a temporary COVID-19 treatment centre has been established at the Sri Lanka Navy camp in Busa. According to the Sri Lanka Navy, the temporary COVID-19 treatment facility is equipped with 162 beds. The Navy further noted that the admission of infected individuals to the treatment centre commenced yesterday. Meanwhile, police media spokesperson DIG Ajit Rohana expressed the following views during a media briefing today.
An
operation was carried out yesterday from 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. at nightclubs, betting centres and spas in the Western Province. These entities cannot operate under the latest health guidelines. We came across certain establishments that were not conducting their operations in line with the health guidelines. We inspected 47 nightclubs, 105 betting centres and 133 spas. Although many of them had been adhering to health guidelines, we observed that it was not the case in some establishments. Therefore, 7 managers, 19 employees and 50 individuals were arrested for flouting the law last evening. The total number of arrested suspects amount to 76. 173 people were arrested for not wearing a face mask and maintaining social distance. We have arrested 5,248 people for not wearing a face mask thus far. We have filed cases against approximately 5,000 of them. The law which requires people to wear face masks will be implemented by the police. However, wearing a face mask alone will not suffice. It is important to conduct oneself in keeping with the health guidelines. Public transport services can only carry passengers based on the number of seats. Only 2 passengers can travel in addition to the driver in cars and 3-wheelers. We have informed the police to ensure these laws are implemented as well.
Dumbala is a bustling city at any time of the day. However, the ever-populated Dumbala seemed deserted over the past few days in light of the rapid spread of COVID-19 in the area. But the Dumbala Dedicated Economic Centre reopened once more. The Dumbala Dedicated Economic Centre will remain open from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. from today. It has been decided to only purchase produce brought to the economic centre by farmers from the Matale district today and tomorrow. The chairman of the economic centre, Shanta Ekanayako, said a decision on purchasing produce of farmers from other districts will be announced in due course. It had been made mandatory for traders visiting the Dumbala Special Economic Centre to carry a copy of their PCR report.
Only traders who have undergone PCR test will be allowed to enter the premises. The driver will have to sanitize their hands before entering as well. Between 75 and 80 lorries have arrived here. We will not allow the COVID-19 regulations to be flouted. If anything of that sort happens, our health units and the police will take the relevant action. Only traders who produce a negative PCR test report will be allowed to carry out business activities. This will be the situation in the coming days. We will carry out these activities in an organized manner.
Issues have arisen over a batch of AstraZeneca vaccines at the Batikolo General Hospital.
570 doses of the vaccine given to our hospital had not been stored properly in cold storage facilities. They had stored these vaccines for 14 or 15 hours in a freezer. The last time we checked, the temperature stood at 10 degrees Celsius. Therefore, we are having doubts as to whether the vaccine is suitable to be administered or not. We immediately handed over the vaccines to the epidemiology unit to conduct tests. Until then, we cannot determine whether these vaccines can be used or not.
அது பழுதடைந்து விட்டதா இல்லையா என்பதை கூறக்கூடியதாக இருக்கும்.
India's government is facing growing pressure to impose a nationwide lockdown in order to stem the devastating coronavirus surge that has overwhelmed hospitals and morgues.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government is widely criticized for allowing religious festivals and political gatherings attended by thousands of largely unmasked people, and is reluctant to impose a national lockdown for fear of the economic fallout. The cumulative case count in the world's second most populous country has passed 20 million, adding 10 million cases in just over 4 months after taking more than 10 months to reach the first 10 million. With hospitals running out of beds and oxygen, experts say that the actual numbers could be 5 to 10 times higher. The leader of the main opposition party urged the government to impose a full national lockdown.
Dinesh Gunawardena was appointed as the chairman of the Parliamentary Select Committee to identify appropriate reforms of election laws and the electoral system. Speaker Mahinda Abeyewardena made an announcement on the other members of the committee today.
Garu Dinesh Gunawardena මහතාගේ සභාපතිත්වයෙන් යුතුව මතු සඳහන් මන්ත්‍රීවරුන් මා විසින් පත් කරන ලද බව පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට දන්වන කැමැත්තෙමි. කරු නිමල් සිරිපාද සිල්ලා මැතිතුමා, කරු මහාචාර්ය ජී.එල්. පීරිස් මැතිතුමා, කරු පවිත්‍රා දේවාන්‍යාරච්චි මැතිණිය, කරු ඩග්ලස් දේවානන්ද මැතිතුමා, කරු විමල් හිරවංශ මැතිතුමා, කරු එම්.යූ.එම්. අලි සබ්රි මැතිතුමා, ජීවන් තොණ්ඩමන් මැතිතුමා, කරු අනුර දිසානායක මැතිතුමා, කබීර් හෂීම් මැතිතුමා, ආර්.එම්. මද්දුම් බණ්ඩාර මෙතුමා, මනෝ ගණේෂන් මෙතුමා, එම්.ඒ. සුමන්ත්‍රන් මෙතුමා, මధుර විතානගේ මෙතුමා, සාගර කාර්යවසම් මෙතුමා.
Public Security Minister Sarath Weerasekara made a request to avoid permitting MP Richard Badudin from entering Parliament. The request drew flack from MPs representing the opposition.
I make a request from you to prevent any MP who is being held under the provisions of the Prevention of Terrorism Act and being interrogated from attending Parliament until investigations conclude. Those investigations concern national security. If he makes certain revelations regarding those investigations using his parliamentary privileges, wanted suspects could flee the country or they could remain vigilant. So I make a humble request from you to ban any MP who is being interrogated under detention orders of the Prevention of Terrorism Act from attending parliamentary sittings until such investigations have concluded.
පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට ගේන්න අවසර නොදෙන ලෙස මම ඔබතුමාගෙන් කාර්යක ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා.
මම කනගාටු වෙනවා ගරු කතාන.
It is regrettable to note, when this was being discussed at the Business Committee, neither you, the Speaker, Dinesh Gunawardena, nor any other person from the ruling faction mentioned the fact regarding national security. You might recall, they only brought up a story concerning Richard Badudin coming into close contact with a COVID-19 patient. Richard Badudin should attend parliamentary sittings. You should safeguard the rights of the MPs. What is your opinion on the matter? Do you agree with the minister? We require a clarification.
දැන් ඔබතුමා කියන්නේ මේ ආරක්ෂක ඇමතිතුමා කියන කාරණාවමද? අපිට පැහැදිලි කිරීමක් අවශ්‍යයි.
මට නිල වශයෙන් දන්වලා තියෙන්නේ
I have only officially been informed of the situation pertaining to COVID-19 and that it has worsened by today. However, there are two matters at hand and we need to resolve those matters following a lengthy discussion.
ගැටලු දෙකක් තියෙනවා මෙතන. ඒ ගැටලු දෙක ගැන අපි මීට වඩා දීර්ඝ සාකච්ඡාවක් කළා අපි තීන්දුවක් ගන්නවා.
When his family members spoke yesterday, you said since it does not bear your signature, he cannot be brought. At the party leaders meeting, you mentioned the COVID-related matter. Now the Minister of Public Security is speaking of the Prevention of Terrorism Act. These are three contrasting matters. These are all fabricated. Please protect the rights of MPs.
There are many out there who made such statements. However, they are not being detained. They are using the Prevention of Terrorism Act to destroy parliamentary tradition. Harin Fernando is also going to be arrested through the same act. If an MP does not attend Parliament for 3 months, his seat will be made vacant. Therefore, Honourable Speaker, these parliamentary privileges are being misused. There are statements made by you as well. I am not insinuating that you should be arrested. This act is being used to suppress the opposition.
CID එකේ කවුරු හරි නිලධාරි දෙන්නෙක්
Your laws will not be useful if the CID arrests the public representative, detains him for 3 months and his seat is made vacant in the process. That is unjust.
නම් ඔබතුමාගේ නීතියක රටට වැඩක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ නීතිය සාධාරණ නැහැ.
දැන් මේ රිෂාඩ් බදුද්දීන් මන්ත්‍රීතුමා
At 3 p.m. on Monday, a PCR was conducted on Richard Badudin. However, the results still have not been published. What power does the minister have to make such statements? You need to issue a clarification in that regard. This is a serious statement.
නම් දීලා නැහැ සඳුදා 3ට ගත්ත වාර්තාව. ඇමතිතුමා මේ සභාවේ නැගිටලා කියනවා නම් මම නියෝග දීලා තියෙනවා එයාව ගේන්න එපයි කියලා. එහෙම කොහොමද බලයක් එතුමාට ලැබුණේ? ඔබතුමා ඒක ගැන ප්‍රකාශයක් කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒක තාම බරපතල ප්‍රකාශයක්.
නමුත් මහජන ආශ්‍රාව ගැන
I am responsible for public security. I request you not to allow him to enter parliament until the probe ends. CID agents do not arrest people in an ad hoc manner. They are only arrested on justifiable grounds. I am responsible for national security. Therefore, I am making this request from you.
මේ රටේ නීතිය තියෙන්නේ
The law of the land is enshrined in the constitution. A minister cannot override the constitution. The parliament formulates laws of the country. The minister should understand that. He can amend the laws by first amending the constitution.
The Presidential Commission report on the April 21st attacks has only recommended for the Bribery Commission to investigate Richard Badudin. We will not oppose such a move. If he is connected to terrorism, file indictments and imprison him because perpetrators of the attacks must be punished. But he cannot infringe the rights of an MP.
Attorney General Dumbala Economic has informed the Criminal Investigations Department that there is no legal impediment in facilitating MP Richard Badudin from attending Parliament sessions. This was after the CID director had requested permission from the Attorney General on allowing Richard Badudin, who has been detained, to attend parliamentary sittings on the 30th of April. Meanwhile, the results of the 2020 GCE advanced level examination were released yesterday. We filed this report on the results that were released last afternoon.
Dhanaraj Sundar Bhavan, a student of Chavakacheri Hindu College, had obtained the best results for the math stream in the country. Amandi Mandanayaka, a student of Sangamita College, Gaul, obtained the best results in the commerce stream. Susika Sandasara, a student of Takshila College in Horana, obtained the best results in the science stream.
Corona කාලේ නිසා කොලෙත් online තාක්ෂණය ඔස්සේ
I engaged in studies via online technology due to the COVID-19 pandemic. I did not attend many tuition classes. The school provided its maximum support to me. I wish to tell my brothers and sisters who will be attempting the exam in future to complete their work on time and obtain good results.
හොඳින් කරගෙන හොඳින් ප්‍රතිඵලයක් ගන්න කිය.
Avishka Chanuka, who is also a student of Takshila Central College, registered the best results in the engineering technology stream.
I attended school daily and completed my work on time. The teachers always inquired about my progress and supported me. Since we could not attend school due to the COVID-19 pandemic, lessons were conducted online. The school supported me in every way possible.
301,770 candidates attempted last year's GCE advanced level examination under the old and new syllabus. 194,297 candidates had qualified for university entrance, while the results of 86 candidates have been placed on hold.
The organisation to protect Rajavela raised heavy objection against moves to install an electricity supply line to a land that had been reclaimed within the Rajavela sanctuary.
The organisation to protect Rajavela protested against the installation of a power supply line to a 4-acre land that was reclaimed in the Bopiti area within the Rajavela sanctuary. However, such moves were temporarily halted with the intervention of the Assistant Divisional Secretary of Wattala, Etrai Sandamali, who visited the area.
වනජීවි සංරක්ෂණ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවෙන් අදාළ අනුමැතියෙන් විදුලි බලය ලබා දීමට අදාළ අපිට විදුලි මණ්ඩලයේ මහතුරු අපිට වතින් මෙතන ගැටුමක් විරෝධතාවයක් තියෙනවා.
විරෝධතාවය අපි කරේ නිකන් නෙවෙයි. මුතුරාජල අබේභූමිය සුරැකීමේ සංවිධානයේ හැටියට අපි නඩුවට ගිහිල්ලා තියෙනවා ශේෂ්ඨාධිකරණයේ. ඒ නඩුවේ නියෝගයක් තියෙනවා. තහනම් නියෝග නඩුව තාම ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා.
The organization to protect the Rajavela sanctuary said that several issues arise as a result of providing electricity supply to the Rajavela reserve.
We heard that they are attempting to provide electricity supply to a land located 300 meters into the Rajavela sanctuary. This is being done through a path that was unlawfully laid since 2018. They say that they require electricity through this line. There are only 2 temporary and unlawful structures that have been constructed. Therefore, we have a suspicion as to why they are trying to provide electricity to those structures. They are reclaiming large expanses of lands in the Rajavela sanctuary. You will be able to see for yourself the reason as to why we are opposing these moves.
From that, we bring to a close this edition of Lunchtime News on TV1. For details of these stories and much more, simply log on to our website www.newsfirst.lk. For the News First, the voice of the people, I'm Martin Sathinesun, along with producer Ravindra Jayakodi. You take care and stay safe.